You have an amazing client list of G-Eazy, Kesha, Chris Brown. Sheeran is in there as well.
Study the art of language. If you're going to work with a rapper, you're going to come across like, hey, I want to do all your finance. I can also do your campaigns, sir.
Dear Mr. Riff Raff.
Dear Mr. Riff Raff, I would like to collaborate and uplift your brand. It's not going to work.
What do you think is the most underrated trick in terms of working together with people or starting your own things?
I think...
Casey Neistat said I created like thousands of videos, hours that I spent, all this kind of stuff. And his most viral video is there was a piece of the pavement in New York broken down. And he took his phone and he was like, whoa, this is cool. And then he just filmed basically with his phone in like under the pavement, like in New York basically. And then you could see all the underground stuff. And he's like, whoa, this is cool. And this is his most viral video. He said like, this was literally like 20 seconds of like just filming it out of curiosity and then posting it. And then he said like, I spent so much time like perfecting the video, storytelling, doing all this kind of stuff. And then in the end, it's just a...
I thought it was like the video with him bicycle, like, you know.
I think before it was a bicycle.
Yeah, the bicycle video.
Yeah, it's absolutely wild. And I think this is really like also where it showcases a little bit like kind of like content creation and like social media and all this kind of stuff. It's so messed up because like you never know what's going viral, you know? Like I found you like on TikTok or on Instagram because you paid €700 on Schiphol parking
that was actually a year ago. I posted on an Insta story. And I had a lot of comments on that video, and I was like, whatever. And then a year later, I was like, hey, man, that video. I'll just show it to the world. Like, you know, I'll make it accessible. I just made a reel out of it, and people were getting nuts, going like crazy on me. Like, how can you pay like €710? Hey, man, I'll break that thing for you open for €100. People like offering me deals and stuff. I was like, yo,
that's absolutely
chill,
crazy.
Internet, chill.
That's so nice. I mean, what a nice way to start. I think it shows no structure, chaos. It's also a little bit like...
I love it.
It's also
organized
a little bit
chaos.
like your life, I think. Dzanar, welcome to the Freelancing podcast. I think it's so insane when I look at your life. You started like, you came to the Netherlands, you said with nothing but a violin from Azerbaijan.
Yeah.
And later you, maybe 20, 25 years later, you are standing on private jets, on VIP parties with really famous people. You have your own exhibition in Miami. Do you sometimes have that pinch me moment that you're like, what is my life even?
Every day, man. Every day. Just being alive now is being lucky and being healthy. I think that's really important. And I think on the side, you get all these things, you know, jet set life and all that stuff. But I think you also have to realize what is reality for you. So yeah, I have to pinch myself a little bit like, yes, this is the moment. It can be over like in 2 days or 1 day, man. But just enjoy this moment. You know, just buckle up and go, you know.
Is it also a little bit overrated?
It can be, but I think you create a little shield around you and say like, okay, this is just, you know, just temporarily, just be part of it and enjoy this moment for like maybe 6 hours, and then you go back home alone and you go to bed, and the next day you just have to go to the train to pick up your stuff and go back home. You know,
and then you have to work until 3 a.m. again.
Right? it's sometimes it's just a lonely world, bro. Like Drake says, lonely on top, but it can be really lonely. You think, like Dana said, like you think you want to be entrepreneur, man. You're gonna be working on Christmas. You're gonna be working on Easter, and everybody's talking about holidays. So you'd be like, yo, man, I gotta finish this deadline. So
yeah. I think the reason why people glorify it so much is also because there's not so much to celebrate. And if you have something to celebrate, you go big also as an entrepreneur, because there's so many like negative days and so many downtimes that if you have something to celebrate, like you enjoy the shit out of it.
I think you're going to celebrate once everything is just standing and rolling and playing, and you'll be like, okay, this is nice. I hope this will not, you know, I hope the energy will not cut off, or, you know, everything is playing smoothly on screens or whatever. And then after that, you like, okay, the show is done, and then you can celebrate, I think. And then the next day, you're like, okay, I gotta continue. So you just celebrate maybe for 2 hours in your brains, or just 5 minutes, and you just think, okay, what's next? You know?
How do you deal with kind of your own like launch dates and if things go live? Are you like a nervous person, or is it then for you like, hey, I've done everything that I could, I've put all my creative energy in there?
Yeah, I think it's just, of course, I get always nervous, like what people will think about my result, my project, my art. Um, Especially, I had this one last event at Next Museum in Amsterdam. That was kind of nerve wracking, but it's also satisfying to see you have the right people around you and be like, okay, I'm in good hands. If things go wrong, I can go to my technician and he'd be like, okay, I'll sort it out. So having a good team around you gives you a little bit of security. I think it's also really important. That but at the end you be like, okay, my creative process. Will people accept my thing, or will they like it? Yeah, it's always nerve wracking.
And how do you deal with kind of your negative thoughts? Like, is it something that you make out on your own, or
Negative thoughts, they always creep in, and to suppress them, I thought one good thing is just do things. If I'm not doing stuff, all these negative thoughts will start to creep in. Oh, you cannot do this. You cannot do it. Why are you doing? Why are you sitting watching Netflix? Oh, you're a fucking loser, Dzanar. And then I'm like, when I start do stuff, these negative thoughts, like, okay, all right, you're doing stuff, and that's my trick actually. It's just by doing things and then suppress all these negative thoughts, insecurities, and doubts. Yeah, every day.
are you running away a little bit from it sometimes?
Yeah, it can be sometimes painful, but once I'm running away, it feels like, yo, okay, I can run away for 1 day or 2 days just to relax. But then I'm like, no, fuck it. My parents, like, did everything to get us here, to get us in safety, and I can't let my parents down. I can't let myself down. My brother, no, come on, I gotta do it. I'm a freaking animal. I'm hungry. I'm here. I'm young. I'm still, alive and kicking. I can work out. I have the energy. Let's do it. I think that's my drive.
That's
now.
Awesome. Speaking of, I think you just said it, like your parents, they brought you here, brought you into safety. I also said in the beginning, there was this moment, I think you described it somewhere in your post as well, to say like I had basically nothing, just a violin. And then I arrived here in the Netherlands. Can you take us back a little bit to that moment when you arrived?
Yeah, definitely. We came, I was born in Baku, Azerbaijan. And when I was 8 years old, I think, we moved out to the Netherlands. And I was there for like 3 years in the refugee camps, like 3 different refugee camps. And then we got permission to stay from the Netherlands. So we were so lucky and thankful and so happy. So then you have to start from zero. You have to build your life. You have to go to school. You have to develop yourself. And it was not easy. But I think that was, for me, a moment where I should say, like, to myself, like, hey, this is the moment where I should, like, work on myself, get a hobby, do something what I really love. And I was just grinding behind my computer because I love games, video games, music video. My first music video I saw, that was in a refugee camp, was No Diggity by Dre. And I was like, yo, I want to do this. I want to make those type of music videos. TLC, No Scrubs. I want to do that music video. I want to create the same result. And from there, I started to focus, like, yo, I have only a computer. I don't have any money, so I just have to grind. So I was like exploring software, and so from my refugee time to getting the right direction came out, all from television. Watching stuff on television, I was like, yeah, this direction I want to go, and from there I started to develop.
Yeah, because it's also quite impressive. I think you started your first company with 15, I think, 14, 15, something
14,
like this.
15, yeah. I was actually you're not allowed to start your own company after, I think you're 16 or 17 or 18, you have to start your KVK. But when I was even 15, I was thinking, like, how should I make money? Like, so I was offering my services. Like, I can do web design, because I was so fascinated by the whole web technology, Flash, web design, like Dreamweaver. And I started to offer all these tasks to a lot of people. And that's how I started to experience what it's like to build a website and what it's like to build a video or like campaign for a client.
And you just taught yourself all these skills.
All this stuff. There was no YouTube back in the day, so you used to So we used to use forums, design forums. How's Photoshop working? I was even bragging about like in front of my classmates, like high school, yo, you can use this effect on Photoshop. Look at me, I can learn, teach you. And some of my classmates were like, yo, man, I still remember that day you were showing me that effect on Photoshop. Now look at you, you know?
Yeah.
It's funny to see how just out of obsession things can grow and became who you are now, you know.
You mentioned obsession. I find it interesting. Do you think it needs obsession to go to the top?
Impress people with your art. That was my obsession.
You know, in your youth, like also like in my school, there were like just the guys that tried a lot of things or like that didn't. And I find this always so interesting. Like, do you think that's in your case, was it more like nurture? Like, because I think your dad was also like an entrepreneur. He was a sculptor, right?
He's an artist.
Yeah, it's an artist.
Sculptor, like painter. Yeah.
Was it this kind of like early hustle? Was this also like instilled a little bit into you, or is it more like your personality?
It's still a little bit into me, actually. My dad was always saying like, yeah, you know, he was showing me examples of how to make from a small aquarelle spot that, you know, was created, and he made a horse out of it. I'm like, Dad, what? He created from nothing to something, you know, and that was like, yo, this is cool. And he always showed me like, yo, just use your brains, and you're such a talented person. He was also pep talking me like Tony Robbins, you know, like telling me like, you're not dumb, you're not an idiot, Dzanar. Use your brains, goddammit. Like, stop working, man. Stop hanging around outside. Just work, you know. And my dad was harsh. He's like, you're not an idiot. Are you an idiot? Well, then you're an idiot. You know, no, you're not an idiot. Like, he was so hard on me. Like, my mom and my dad was like the best. Yeah. And watching my dad, you know, creating things was like, yo, I want to do the same thing. I want to create things. I want to build worlds around me, like how I see. And I was so obsessed with, I remember I went to my dad's workplace, and I saw this maquette of a building they were working on, and I was like, yo, this is so cool. Like, how do you do this? All these chambers and windows and doors. I want to create the same thing. So from there, my ambition and my obsession started to grow towards 3D design and build worlds in the digital area, you know, create my own buildings. Yeah, it's just amazing. Because I saw something when I was 6 years old. I saw something like a maquette. You know.
When was the first time you were proud of something that you've created, like when you were young?
It's funny. I started high school. I got a CD, and it was called I think Bryce 3D software, where you can just create from shapes. You can create structures and buildings, and from there I started to work, and I started to develop my skills. Then I found out there was a software called 3D Max, and I was working on 3D Max. So and there, after that, I was just doing 3D because that was cool.
Yeah,
you know?
That's amazing. And how did it then continue? Like, you started your first company with 14, 15, doing like a lot of like freelancing, web design for I think gaming clans. I think.
That's how it started. Exactly. Man, you did your homework, bro.
I did my homework. Yeah.
Yeah, you did your homework. Yeah. So that was funny. It's actually 2004. I started to do my own first videos for a gaming community called Ownage ETV.
Shout out,
yo. And I don't know if it still exists, but what I did was I had a Handycam. It was like a Sony camera, and I had a mic that I bought at Hema. I can't remember, but anyways, and I was like, yo, let's do some video gaming reports about LAN parties. And meanwhile, I was already working like editing softwares like 3D Max, right? So I was able to turn something 2D into 3D. So and I could create my own intro movies and do my own editing. So that's what I did. And I started to do like all these video reports with Ownage. And from there, you know, I thought, yo, I can do video reports. Why not do some music videos also? That's cool. like, and from there, I started to create my, my own music videos with artists. My first one was actually a Dutch artist duo, and I created my own video with them official. It was even released on a television called The Box, bro.
That's sick.
Yeah, so I had to go to a Hilversum Media Park to convert the video footage on my CD that was exported as a video file, and had to print it on a videotape called beta tapes. And I was like, yo, I'm standing here between all these computers. What am I doing here, bro? This is how fast things can go. Like, wow, this is so cool. Like, and yeah, from there I was like, yo, I want to do some music videos with that. But I didn't have budget, so all the budgets that were coming in, I was just spending on renting cameras. My first camera was Sony Z1 or something, like, those HD cameras with HD tapes.
I mean, now they're coming back in fashion again, right? Like,
I know, right? Yeah, that's cool, right? Progressive lines and stuff. Like.
And when was the first, let's say, bigger gig that you got? So I think we can fast forward a little bit. Like, you did like a bunch of music videos. You got in touch with artists that produced it.
Yeah.
Put your creative spin on it.
The digital era started to develop. Eventually, cameras were like getting smaller and smaller and better. So I started on my camera 7D Canon, and then I created a music video for an artist. And then there was one guy, a DJ, found out that I was like, yo, I'm able to make music videos. And then he approached me and told me like, yo, I'm a DJ. Let's do something together. Let's go to a country where I'll be performing. And from there, I started to do after movies in 2010 or something, 2009, and then I realized like this is cool, after movies for DJs, because that was something growing. EDM scene started to grow,
especially in the Netherlands.
Especially in Netherlands, yeah. From in the EDM scene, I started to get other DJs approaching me and telling me like, "Yo, I want your video. It's also for me. Can you produce it for me?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." Then I met Sanfeldt. And
can I interrupt there, because
sure.
I find this quite interesting. What did you do differently then? Because I imagine there were other people maybe already doing after movies, and I think this was also the time where the after movies of the whole festivals and stuff like this came out. But what did you do differently than the others?
I was combining video animations. I was not just editing videos. I was also kind of editing them in After Effects, cutting them out. And I remember I did a music video for Lil Jon, "Welcome to the Jungle." That was shot in Canada, and I was literally cutting people out, and I was creating this my own animation. So I was breaking whole standard, footage into pieces. And that made something special. I gave that, what I felt like that I was just using my feelings, getting out of the cloud and like showing out,
Yeah, because you talk about it like a little bit like quite humble, I think, to say like, yeah, I work together with some DJs and stuff like this. And I think, but those DJs were already like the who is who of the EDM scene, right?
Yeah.
And we talk about like Sanfeldt and maybe Martin Garrix or Tiesto, or those kind of like big names that you then worked with, right?
Yeah. Well, we're all starting. We were all at the starting position. Some were like already like a little bit far. But I realized that me and Sam, I remember Sam was even called Dr. Papasov back in the days. He was not even Sanfeldt. And I remember I went to Vegas. I was there for like a couple of months, and I saw Sam having a hit with a Dutch artist. And then I came back from Vegas, and I remember he told me like, "Hey, you want to be my art director from all my tours and my all my cover designs and stuff?" I was like, "Yo, let's do it." But I knew him back in the days before Sanfeldt. We were just hanging around and going to places like Czech Republic to shoot some videos. And I was like this background video dude who was like shooting after movies. So it all started with after movies with DJs. And then I found my own direction with Sam in the EDM scene, and then I got introduced into the whole serious music industry with Warner Music, Sony, Spinning Records, and from there I started to realize, yo, this is something really serious. These are really serious parties to work with.
How do you survive because I think that in this kind of area, there need to be like two parts. Like one is of course the pure skill, like of what you can create, but also you need to be also certain persona. Like what do you think it takes nowadays to create those networks, work with all those people? Like how did you hustle yourself into all this?
Just approach people and say, this is what I can do. And if people be like, yeah, whatever, just show them some things that I was like showing them. Oh, this is my video. This is what I did. Or even offer them, do something free. Just give it away back in the days. And that's it. Just network yourself in. Just promote yourself. Yeah.
Because I think that's a big discussion in the creative community always. I think that kind of, I don't want to do something for free, or the big stars have to pay for it or something like this.
Yeah, that's for everyone is a personal opinion. I think I remember I approached Riff Raff, one of the American big rappers, and I said to him, "Yo, bro, can I do a cover, like a design cover for you?" And he emailed me like instantly in 15 minutes for free. I'm like, "Yeah, bro, let's do it." And I ended up doing his album cover. He paid me well, and I had a lot of other projects and recognition from it. So it was a good investment just to say, yeah, I'll do one cover for you for free, and the rest will, figure out.
Yeah, I mean, I'm. Don't get me wrong. I'm a big fan of like paying it forward. I think that's also how I always got in touch with people to say like, hey, I can do something for you, and then let's see how we can work together. But I also know that like in the creative community, there's always this kind of discussion, about this. Yeah, you shouldn't do something for free. Or they should see your worth, or they should see like your other project or something like this.
Yeah, eventually you have to know your own value and keep your value close to yourself. And of course, you shouldn't be doing things for free, because money is also something that is oxygen for your projects, which is really important. But certain things, I was like, if I want to roll in. That was maybe 10 years ago. I offered something, because I believe that offering something or giving something, or something for free or giving something away, it comes back 2 times back at you, and I think it's you have to always be a good-hearted person to even donate something towards people, like help people out. Sometimes I just give away art pieces for people that visited my exhibition, like, yo, bro, I got you a little print. Send me your address. And you're like, what? Sending me like a print? Yeah, I'm like, sending you for free. Just send me your address. You know how much impact it has on people?
It's crazy.
And they talk about this.
In 10 years, they will still talk about this.
They still talk about this, bro.
I think there's a big upside to like paying things forward. I think that sometimes we lose this a little bit, like this ability to just help each other and do things for each other.
I think we get caught up in moments where we have to think how we're going to pay our bills as creatives. And, this is me. I'm in survival mode, like all my competitors. But it's, I think it's also a different approach that has a lot of this unspoken approach that you can also give something to someone.
Yeah.
And then you can get it in return double.
Yeah. I also want to talk to you a little bit about your creative process, because I think not many people talked about with you about this, and I hope it's true. You have a condition which is called synesthesia.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, it is. It's every time it's funny you mention every time. Yeah, man, you caught me off guard. But that's something that when I listen to a track, I see colors in shapes, forms, lights. I think that's synesthesia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's only I looked it up, like 1.5% of the world's population that have this condition.
Yeah, it's I can literally, when I hear the song, I can break down the kick, the hi-hats, the snares, the drums, and every instrument, every sound has their own story and image. So what I want to do is I want to give every separate channel of the track, I want to give them their own characteristics, their own visual. So that synth wave you hear, or that kick that has that little, I want to give them a place. I want to give them also a breathing space. You know, they have their own story. That's what I do also in my editing, my visuals these days. We just give them, you know, they deserve a spot.
And I think this is maybe even like your zone of genius. You know, I think that many people don't know that, but I think that's also why your art is so distinct, why your covers are so distinct, why your video editing is so special, because I think you approach it from a complete different perspective.
Yeah. Yeah, I trained that maybe. I don't know. I just see it. I just feel it. And sometimes if I don't, it's also, sometimes you have to explain it to the client, or like, this is what this imagery fits this track. And then he comes like, no, it has to be happy and funny. But I'm like, yo, this is a dark techno track. What do you mean? Like, and it comes down, when I was watching music videos, it inspired me a lot. I saw, for example, Fateless, and exactly I knew the producers, what they were thinking, why they used certain sceneries, settings, why they use this color, why they use this type of editing. I was so obsessed, and I was like, yo, this is it. Yeah, I understand them. I understand what they're doing. So that's why it gave me also confirmation, like, yeah, I'm on the right track. I'm on the right track, because I can use their videos as a reference also, like exactly that. And then I started to actually copy it for myself. Like, yo, this is fitting my vibe too.
And how do you usually like approach a project? Is it like, when are you creative? Is it that you just sit instantly down and you're like, just like, oh, all the ideas come pouring?
Yeah, back in the days it was difficult. You procrastinate a lot, and you like, oh, maybe it's not good. Maybe if I finish it too fast, people think like you're too fast, so it's not good because it's too fast. And now I'm just making it, creating it. And sometimes I just take a moment, get in the car, just drive and listen to the track, and then I just disappear in the cloud. Because nobody's into. That's why I was telling my ex, I was like, I like to drive. I just like to drive. Reason why I just like to be in my cloud. Nobody's bothering me, and then I come up with the crazy ideas. And sometimes just in the shower, when I wake up and just go in the shower, I'm like, oh wait, this is the moment. This is how I'm gonna create this project. Just in the shower. So I got to be alone a lot. If I'm being too disturbed by other people, it's difficult to focus. That's why I cannot work in spaces where there's a lot of people, like at a coffee shop, or, you know, I can't.
Was that also a little bit the problem? Because I think there was a moment in your career where you were like flying around the world, like jet setting, going to concerts, like doing all this crazy work. Was this also like then at one point contradicting to your work?
Yeah, definitely. I think it was also a distraction, because then you have to be cautious about everything around you, like your flights, your people around you. It's also a distraction. Creative process needs peace and silence. If you have personal problems in your relationship or whatever, or with friends or family, it can disturb your creative process. You need that moment of silence in your mind, because creativity loves silence, and then you can perform at best, I think. Yeah.
How do you keep on pioneering? Because I think a lot of stuff that you're doing is really like pioneering. I think you're always a little bit ahead of time, which is super difficult. But how do you manage that you kind of always hit this mark that is a little bit ahead of time, so people are surprised? Is this something you can quantify or like even talk about?
Well, like I said, if I'm sitting alone, it doesn't mean that I'm working. I'm also doing a lot of research. I'm just watching YouTube. I'm just reading news. I'm just reading technology. Like NVIDIA is coming up with this thing called AI, you know, and I think just do a lot of research, sitting, watching, and watch what other people doing, or like even check trends, like see what's going to be happening in 2 years, and where's this world shifting to. Do a lot of research.
Did AI really influence your workflow?
It did. It made a few things faster. I don't think it's taken over.
Do you see it
me.
as a threat? I think many people.
Well,
I think
yeah.
you're like a digital
in the
art, right?
beginning,
So,
being the first couple of months, you'd be like a little bit in your doubt zone. You're like, yo, so what makes sense now to even working my 3D software will takes half a day, then one click of a button, and you have that in 4 minutes. And you start to doubt, like, hey, am I going the right direction? Then you're starting to calibrate. And you'd be like, wait, I can use AI for something else. Maybe. I will still do my own art in 3D softwares. I'm still digital artist, but I can adapt. I can use that to my advantage. Now you can turn image into 3D objects or textures, and you can use that. I can make a 2D image of a text and then just turn it into 3D object and put it in my scene like that, way faster. Now I realize it's not about anymore the AI, it's about your imagination. I think that's like, what can you create now? Okay, everything is ready for you. Now, what are you gonna do? How weird are you now? How are you gonna surprise? How are you gonna grab attention of audience? Okay, AI is here. What are you gonna do with it? So I think that's my next task is how creative can I be? There's a lot of things.
Yeah.
Now,
And I think that's also the interesting part because, of course, it came out and then everyone started to do like the digital art and all this kind of stuff or like creating images for themselves. But then still they didn't fly, right? So when you create something, I think it's so much more than just an image. Like you make people feel something or you trigger an emotion. And I think many of those large language models can't do this, or like the prompting can't do this.
yeah,
So
the prompting is just gonna visualize something. But I think what really now matters is it's draw these emotions, spark these emotions. People are gonna love it or hate it. If you hate it or you don't like it, it's an emotion already. So that's good also. So overall in my area is creativity and being this artistically, how you say, you're going to be, for me is now an emotion that really matters. What do you want to tell the world now? It's not about the tools is just the tools. Everybody can use AI now. Everybody can make art. But how are you going to spark emotion? What is your message? I think that, I don't think that AI will replace that. When is your right timing? Sometimes also your timing, some people use it when something happens, some type of event or whatever, and they have a message. They can use that in advantage. They can use AI to, make it a little bit of a bold statement or whatever. So it's about you. What do you want to tell the world now? Yeah. What is your story?
But I think that's a little bit the funny thing, right? That like, on the one hand, I think AI opens all the doors, but then if you see how like 99% of the people use it, is like literally like the most standard thing. Like they don't even bother removing like the most standard words, the most standard writing, and they use it everywhere, on LinkedIn, on their content, on WhatsApp messages, in founder groups, like because they think like, I'm gonna save so much time.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then so I think that for 99% of the people right now, AI is just like a very complicated assistant that writes emails for them that they could have sometimes written faster when they do it themselves. Because when you sometimes sit there and then reiterate like 3 or 4 times, in that time you can easily write an email easily.
And that's why being authentic is so important now. It's just everybody can do it, but what makes you now different? What makes you human-like now?
I mean, what's not AI was also all of your collaborations that you've done in the past. I think you have an amazing client list of G-Eazy, Kesha, Chris Brown, Riff Raff. Like, I mean, so many people. I think Sheeran is in there as well. Sanfeldt, like insane. Like you have, if you say like the client list is really, really prominent. Can you say like a favorite? What was your favorite project? Do you have one, or is it difficult?
My favorite project was G-Eazy. It was just such a. It was an honor to work with him. Also, of course, with other artists also, but G-Eazy was a project, NFT project, and I had my total freedom, which also my previous projects with other artists also, but I could just create what I felt like it suits me and suits Gerald G-Eazy, and yeah, that was the most fun project. Yeah, because people also were literally interested in your craftsmanship. How did you do all this 3D? There was like even a Clubhouse podcast.
And Clubhouse.
Good
old
yeah.
times.
We were literally me and Gerald and the community. We were like asking questions and we were like doing the Q&A. And I was like, how do you do this? And how did you start it, Gerald? And that was cool. And the first time you felt like a really recognition towards your craftsmanship. You were not just a digital nerd creating stuff in Photoshop. And it was actually like, oh, but why do you do this in 3D and why do you do that? There was more interest in your work, which was like so underrated back in the days. That's what it felt like, you know? Yeah.
That's amazing.
G-Eazy, man, shout out.
I find it so interesting because, of course, when you work together with those big stars that are undoubtedly also insanely creative people, right? Like G-Eazy, Riff Raff, like all those people, they have like this genius being in music or in other areas of their life. How do you work together? I think that could be also really nice for a lot of creatives out there. Like, where's the line between like, hey, this is my creativity and my project, and I'm commissioned for you to kind of do that?
I think artists recognize each other. They recognize each other's frequencies, authenticity, and I think if you have this, that's why you have to have the same frequency, or be a little bit different. It depends, but it's like a match, you know. It's like a little dating scene where you just, hey, me and you, we're cool. You accept what I do, and I accept you. You're open, you know, for my ideas, my cloud. And then I think it has to be a match, you know. And managers is a different thing. Managers have different priorities. They think about something else. So I have to be in line with the artist. You know, you also have to understand him. You have to know what his things that you can fill in or make him look better, or both. You know, depends on the project, of course. But with Gerald, for example, I had to do like 10 personalities of him. So basically, I had to create a character, Gerald G-Eazy, and then I had to show him in a snowboard outfit, one in this jumpsuit, one in this mountain hike outfit. So that were all his personalities, and it matched really well. He was so excited about it. So we had a really good frequency together. Yeah,
I think right now you're just really focusing on your own art, your own like exhibition that you're running as well.
Yeah.
I want to talk a little bit about this. So when did it kind of like start a little bit that you transition from this, oh, I'm just gonna freelance, work with all those amazing people, and hey, I'm just gonna do my own work now?
Well, like I said, like I started in the music industry, like working 15 years. I'm still like with one leg in the music industry. But then I realized like, I want to do something for myself. I can do maybe even better. And from all these experiences, you start to, you know, develop and say like, okay, I can do it now on my own. And it's scary because you ain't got nobody next to you now. Now you have to do it all by yourself. Arrange everything with your people around you, like, you know. And but it was it's you know, from your experiences, you become a little bit stronger. You know, you have more also faith in yourself. Like you believe more in yourself. There's also believing in yourself is really important, and be brave. Then moments when the Corona hit, right before Corona, I told my previous manager, I said, I want to do something for myself now. I want to do my art exhibitions. I want to be there and there hanging, you know, because I'm an artist, you know. And right after Corona, I did my own first exhibition in Miami, Scope Art Show.
Insane.
And I remember my manager told me, like, how? Like, I said, yo, I just looked up what's the best exhibition you can be at, event, what time frame, and I just went for it.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
You had like a couple of famous pieces. Like I think the most recognizable is probably the glittery, like
The glitter pink basketball.
Yeah,
Yeah.
basketball. I think that many people have seen. I think it was also on the Times Square, if I'm not
Exactly.
mistaken.
Yeah.
Like, how does it make you feel? I mean, you have this whole journey, right? You arrive in the Netherlands with nothing but a violin. You see those music videos, like off the New York skyline with Trey. Like, what does it do to you, like, then to see yourself then hanging with your own art in New York?
Yeah, surreal that just also it's something that tells me, like, yeah, if you just focus on what you feel and what you want to do, don't listen to nobody. Well, come on, that's a bold expression, but just listen to yourself and believe in yourself and just do it. And I think one day they just see you and they're like, hey man, this is cool. I never seen a pink glitter basketball. Let's put it. My pink glitter basketball was actually showcased as my first exhibition ever in Miami at Scope Art Show, and father of Drake bought it. Yeah, and then from there, get attention right away. I got attention from different galleries. Yo, we want you to have there at that event. We want you to be there. We want you to be in Times Square. I'm like, yeah, let's go. From there, it started to roll. I did a pink glitter basketball actually like in half an hour. It was just my idea. AI didn't even exist, literally. I was just, whoa.
That's it.
Yeah.
Were there was also moments that you were uncertain to launch for yourself? Because of course, like, you have this amazing track record of like working with all those cool like celebrities together, producing amazing art for them. But if you do it for yourself, it's different, right? To say like, hey, wasn't this a guy who did like really cool project for G-Eazy and now he's launching that?
I was just accepted fate. Like, if people don't like it, F it.
Yeah.
If they can't understand it, F it, man. There will be another group of people that will understand and appreciate my work. Why should I be scared? But it's always, like I said, it's always nerve-wracking to launch your first project or many other releases and see the reactions. Yeah, it can be really intriguing. It can make you really nervous. Yeah,
But then it's also trust in your like inherent abilities,
just
right?
trust it and just let it go. Don't procrastinate. Just do it. Finish it. It's never going to be perfect. There will be always a person that tells you, oh, you should do it like in purple or green. Why pink? Like, just accept it. Just now, the less I care, the better I perform. The less I care what people think of my art, the better I perform now. The more freedom I feel. And that's what my dad also said, like, you're a free spirit, Dzanar. Use that. You just do it. Nobody can tell you. Eventually you come to a level that it doesn't matter what people think of you. And then it open up so many doors in your brains. Like, bro, you feel so free.
With all your cool collaborations that you've done now and your own art and everything, what do you think is still like the most underrated like hack or trick that many people don't use in terms of like working together with people or like starting your own things?
I think underrated is study the art of language. Study the art of language. If you're going to work with a rapper, you're going to come across like, hey, I want to do all your finance. I can also do your campaigns, sir. He'd be like, okay.
Dear Mr. Riff Raff.
Dear Mr. Riff Raff, I would like to collaborate and uplift your brand. Nah, it's not going to work, bro.
Yeah.
You got to understand the language. Everyone has their own language, their own pipeline. If I'm going to work with a music label, I'm going to approach them really different than I'm being, in contact with Ed Sheeran. I remember there was a producer that, I don't know who sent it to someone, but he just sent it, I want to poop. And Ed Sheeran responded, yeah, me too, or something like that. Artist. You you can't send it to, a label. You'd be like, what's going on here, bro? You good? So, and there was also moments to, for example, American culture. Yeah, you have to understand their way of thinking and the way how they hustle. The art of hustle. It's that frequency you have to know. I remember there was a Dutch artist that she became a little bit big there, and then she kind of faded away. She wanted to go back in Holland and do all that stuff. And I understand why, because her language, it's also a barrier to communicate every day with Americans, or that language, it's totally different, So you have to understand their thinking also. Just communication. You have to be on that same page.
What about the art of timing? Because I have the feeling that like there were many coincidences in your life, but on the one hand, I think it's like luck that you met maybe the right person, the right time. But on the other hand, I also have the feeling that it's also like about timing. And
it's just timing. It's today. You have that feeling that you can email that guy today or tomorrow. Email it now. Just do it now. And it's timing with everything. You just grab it and you just take it. It's not about luck. It's just the right timing. And this timing is your one opportunity. Just think like that. Tomorrow it can be gone. Like that. Like I have today, I have a guy, he approached me for a project. I have to do it now. Because otherwise tomorrow he'd be like, oh man, I'll find another one. It's like that. Dude, just take it now. Like get an assistant, who does all your stuff for you. If you're too busy or you don't know how to write emails.
What advice would you give to young creatives that are maybe 16-year-olds right now that are a little bit like you, like skill stacking, doing all different kind of things, hustling? What advice would you give them?
Be brave. Don't procrastinate. Do it. Do it immediately. Start it. And your way is the right way.
That's amazing. I mean, we could probably talk for another 5 hours about creativity, about pioneering, about the art of timing. we can pull like a Joe Rogan. But yeah, I think for the first part, I'm going to bring it to the end. Thank you so much for like all your openness and your creativity. Like, it's amazing. I learned a lot. I will also DM some people in the afternoon. I DM'd you and you're here one day later, which is amazing.
Yeah, 24 hours later.
Exactly. So it's a really fast turnaround. We will link all your channels, of course, in the show description so people can also follow you. Also your art, they can buy it, they can see all your upcoming shows. I'm excited. I think it's gonna be you're gonna be much bigger in the future. I think right now it's not reflected in your followers, but that also doesn't matter because I think you do amazing work, and followers they don't pay the bill. So you're doing amazing work. Thank you so much for coming on.
Appreciate it. Thank you for having
before we
me.
leave off, I always have 3 final questions. I was gonna shoot them out to you. What are you learning right now that you're not good at? AI, perfect. Yeah. What name would you give this chapter of your life?
The beginning.
The beginning. And if you could send a SMS to all mobile phones in the world, what would you say?
Love exists.
Love exists. Perfect. Thanks so much for coming on again, and good luck for everything else.
Appreciate it.
Cool.
Thank you for having me.
And now it's time for you to subscribe to the 301 podcast, because I see that over 80% are still not subscribed. So go hit that subscribe button, and we see each other in 2 weeks' time with a new episode.